Okay, Aquarius. So, let's not press this button again accidentally when I'm trying to show you the spread here. Okay. So, in my Thoth deck, in the little booklet, there's a layout called Magic Triangle. So here's the Magic Triangle, and this is the layout I'm using for all the readings for August. So these first three cards are the current situation, okay? 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 is how it evolves, how the situation evolves, and then 6, the sixth card is the final outcome. Okay. So we'll see how this all plays out for you. Looks like a lot going on, but we'll see here. Okay, that's good. Okay. So, bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords. This just came up for... It's funny how there's one linking from one to the next reading. This was in... What did I just do? Last was... let's see. So it's right there. What is this here? Cancer, yeah. So that was for Cancer, I guess. So anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, Ten of Swords. Okay, so, but it's a 10, so it's like whatever's been causing you this mental anguish is coming to a natural end. And a 10 is just, it's a natural end or death, you know, could be a literal physical death of something, but usually just denotes, or spiritual end of something, but it usually just denotes the culmination of mental anguish and mental stress, and that just coming to its natural end for whatever reason. You know, because life keeps moving and changing, and so the energies are flowing, and so whatever it was, Aquarius, it's done and it's out the door and taken care of. So whatever's been weighing heavily on your mind, the time has now come for you to move on from that. So, and because you have the Emperor crowning your reading, okay, that's just telling me that yes, you have moved on from whatever that was, because this is crowning the reading. So you're moving on, and it's the highest priority for you right now. And the Emperor, you know, is the King of Kings. He's the master of his domain. He hasn't, and it could be a she, I mean, but you know, it just all depends on who's watching the reading. I mean, this is for Aquarius, so if you're male, female, doesn't matter really. It's just the energy of the Emperor is like the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, right? The top of the top, and he's the cream top on that good organic yogurt. You know, that's the Emperor. And then you have the Hermit, and then the Hierophant. So the Hermit, you know, of course, is detaching from worldly things, going within, self-illumination, self-reflection, communion with Source. And then once the Hermit comes out of his cave, or comes back from the desert, or wherever he's or she is going to get in the stillness and silence to get the solutions and the answers and the visions, and when the Hermit finally comes out, here's, you know, the lantern to show the way home for others. And in this deck, what the Hermit has in his lantern is a little piece of a star that knows its way home. So it's like everything that you need to know is already inside you. Okay? This little piece of a star is connected all the way back to Source. and that's what we are. You know, we're stardust. We're made up of all the same elements as everything else. And so it's this deep inner knowing that the hermit comes back into contact with, and now has like a fresh perspective, clear perspective on the world, and your place in it, and how to weave through it. You know, and the hermit's like the bodhisattva. You know, he can ascend, but they choose to stay here to help guide others into the light. So they're shepherds in that way. And then you have the Hierophant. So the Emperor, the Hermit, the Hierophant. So, and with the Ten of Swords, I'm kind of getting this feeling like you wanted to excel at something, or surpass something, or get over something, in order to have your physical, material, 3D circumstances align with how you view yourself and how you want others to view you, and what you've come to understand as your place in the world. So perhaps with, you know, going into, you know, the endless abyss of the self that the hermit does, and going down there, you know, spelunking down into the self, and illuminating. You've also maybe sought outside help, or maybe seeking that outside help. The advice was to go within. And a lot of times, you know, spiritual guides, gurus, teachers will tell you that. You know, and a true leader creates more leaders, right? Not a bunch of followers and devotees, which is a good place. You know, if you need to spiritually draft being a devotee, it's like boot camp. You know, you got to wipe the slate clean, and then they build you back up the way you want. But at a certain point, you need to become the leader of your own life again, and you can't stay in the devotee. But it's a good place to be, to just wipe everything clean and start anew. But so maybe you did do that. Maybe you sought some kind of professional spiritual advice. It could be a person, it could be a book, it could be, you know, maybe you picked up a Bible and you're starting to read the Bible, or what have you, or videos on YouTube. So the Hierophant is someone who's has the qualities of the leader, of like the Emperor, okay? But he also has the deep inner knowing and spiritual knowledge, esoteric wisdom of the Hermit. So it's come full circle. And a lot of times when people are in like maybe you have a high stress job or something with the Ten of Swords, and so you have a lot of status, clout, recognition, admiration, accolades, and all that as the Emperor. So like someone who's a big lawyer or something like that may have all that recognition, but then they realize something's still missing, even though, you know, they may have a wife and the family and the money but there's something within them, okay, something within you maybe that you felt just that was missing, or just wasn't in its place. It wasn't properly placed, like a piece of a puzzle that you're trying to fit into the last little missing void space. So and with this Emperor attitude, you know that the Emperor also knows that he doesn't always have all the answers and solutions, and he has other professionals, diplomats. You know, he has counsel. He's intelligent enough to know that these checks and balances, according to spiritual and natural law, are there to help you, not to hinder you. So the Emperor is very wise. The Hermit, the Emperor, the energy is very wise. But when you come into this certain level, ascend to a certain level of wisdom, it's almost like you come into knowing that you don't know anything. But it's like you take a few things with you. You know what you know, but then you also know that there's a lot that you don't know that maybe you thought you did know, and come to find out you don't know. So a wise person will seek that information, okay? So whether the Hierophant is an actual person, like I said, or you're doing research or whatever it is, you're trying to find the answer, solution to something to get over this Ten of Swords to maintain your Emperor status. And then how the situation is transforming and evolving. You have the Queen of Wands and then the Knight of Cups. So, and the Queen of Wands is very loyal, generous, creative, abundant, fertile energy. You can see here she's, I don't know if you can see very well in the card, but she's playing a harp here that she's created out of the branches and vines of this tree here. Excuse me. And so, and you can see she's very attuned with nature, okay, and same color as the tree and the foxes and everything, and so she's very in tune with the creative, divine, feminine energy. And she uses what's in her immediate environment. And because she's a loyal, generous, she's also loyal to nature, loyal to all sentient beings, all animals, all creation. And if you notice, it's not, these branches and vines aren't broken off of the tree and turned into a harp. She just bends them, twists it, and it's still connected, alive, and growing. So, the Queen of Wands, I'm kind of getting like a conservationist type, tread lightly energy from the Queen of Wands. And this could literally represent a person, because it's a queen, it's a court card, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman just because it's a queen, but you know, it's wand, so it's fire, so it could be Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, or have that in their chart, or it could be you, or just the energy that you're embodying. Doesn't necessarily need to be a person. So maybe the one last missing piece, and because you have the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands, Knight of Cups, and then King of Pentacles as the final outcome. And in this deck, the King of Pentacles is kind of like the magician. You got the Midas touch. Whatever you touch turns to gold, but you may not have that happening in the love department. So perhaps there's a fire sign that you have your eye on, that you're trying to figure out how to incorporate into your life and still maintain what you've already worked so hard to achieve thus far. But you really, really want this because it's not the King of Cups. Like, you got the love and that you're resting on your laurels, your love laurels, you know. It's the Knight of Cups. So you're wanting this. You're charging towards this. You, even though you may not have all the information that you wanted to gain in order to do this all right, the passion in your heart is what's driving you forward, not the rationale in your brain. So even though mentally, rationally, you may not be there yet, but in your heart you are, and you're charging forth with your heart instead of your brain this time. And Aquarius is very, you know, they're an air sign, so they're a thinker, and they're probably the most expansive, open-minded of the air signs as far as seeing everything all together in its entirety and not really... Like, Gemini can be kind of black and white, Libra can always try to balance, and Aquarius is kind of like, let's look at everything, let's look at all facets, all the aspects, and they really will delve into... and they're spiritual seekers, you know, they really like to research all the spiritual aspects. So maybe you're doing a little bit of that, doing some spiritual research right now, where you feel good in your life as far as everything else, but you want to know how to maybe bring more love into your life. Maybe finances and all that's all good, but you perhaps want some romantic love and partnership, you know. It can be lonely at the top, you know. The Emperor needs his Empress. And the Queen of Wands is like, I look at the King and Queen of Wands as, you know, the Emperor and the Empress were the King and Queen of Wands before they became the Emperor and Empress. So maybe you have your eye on a Queen of Wands. It doesn't necessarily need to be a female, but maybe you have your eye on this person and you want to elevate them up to where you are and then have them walk beside you. And the Hermit kind of has that energy of like, I've reached a certain status, I want you to see how beautiful it is, and lift this Queen of Wands up to being by your side as the Empress. And the final outcome is the King of Pentacles. So if you do that, you're going to feel like the King of Pentacles again, where everything you touch turns to gold. Maybe a lot of times when we've reached a certain level of success and we've maintained that for a long period of time, you know, we adapt to everything. So maybe you can lose a little bit of the magic that you felt when you first achieved these big accomplishments and reached these big lofty goals that you had in life, and you're like, wow, at first, you know, but then, you know, still got a 9-to-5 job or what have you. So maybe you need to bring a little bit more awareness back to self as far as how powerful you are as a manifester and how much the world around you responds to that, supports that, promotes that, and facilitates that for you. Just like the Queen of Wands, nature, because she supports nature and treads lightly, they support her and reciprocate that. So someone who is a king or an emperor and protects, also a little bit different dynamic, but works with the forces of nature and spirit, and they respond back in turn. And you support, and it supports. So this reciprocation of supporting nature, being in alignment with natural and spiritual law, and then that supports you in return. And you can call it cause and effect or karma or whatever. It's just when you respond to nature, to God, you get a response in return. Even if it's just a thumbs up from the cosmos of just, you're on the right path, you're doing a good job, keep it up. Sometimes that's the message, is you don't really need any clarification, you just need to know that you're doing a good job. So that's kind of the message, Aquarius. You're doing good. You're doing a good job. You know, you've accomplished a lot, and maybe there's a little bit more tweaking you need to do as far as fine-tuning, bringing some, maybe perhaps romantic love into your life. Maybe you're ready for that now. So, but the universe is supporting you, and just, you know, maintain this emperor status of checks and balances when you need to check with your council to make sure that, yes, you are in alignment with all that is, you know, nature, your council, the people that maybe you're a boss of a company or something, you know, you want all your employees to be happy. So maybe you're at a good point now with all of that, and you've built this up to a point where now you want emotional support, love, in a more deep, more intimate, perhaps romantic capacity. So, and let's see, you have 3 out of the 6, so half of them are major arcana, and the whole situation, current situation, is major arcana. So you're working with spirit, spirit's working with you, and you're doing this oscillation of back and forth of like, am I doing right, spirit, great spirit? And then you're getting the thumbs up from the universe, from God. Yes, you are. You're on the right path. You're doing good. Keep it up, and have faith in yourself, and you will bring this love into your life, is what I see it as. That's the message I'm getting, is that you're ready for that now. You're at a good place. You're at a good place in your life, and you're ready to call that love in. So, good stuff, Aquarius. I think you have some good loving to look forward to. So, have a happy August, and I will see you next time, all my Aquarians. To all of you, blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings.